Global warming is going to shake up bird distributions in all kinds of ways that are difficult to predict. How hummingbirds are going to be affected is to look at how they already have been affected by the first approximately 1 degree of warming that's already happened. We've got a couple species here in North America that have made radical shifts in their distributions. First, the Anna's hummingbird in California has expanded from Southern California outward to British Columbia in the north and Mexico, Arizona, and New Mexico in the east. Perhaps even more dramatic, since the late 1970s, we've seen several species of North American hummingbirds expand their wintering ranges to include the southeastern United States, in addition to their traditional wintering grounds in southern Mexico and Central America. So we've got species like the rufous hummingbird from the Pacific Northwest, the broad-tailed and calliope hummingbird from the Rocky Mountains, and the ruby-throated hummingbird from the northeastern United States, all regularly winter along the Gulf Coast between Texas and Florida, and even up as far north as North Carolina. Amazingly, last January, in the middle of typical Chicago winter, a rufous hummingbird showed up at a feeder in a Chicago neighborhood. So there are radical changes going on in the migratory routes and wintering ranges of these hummingbirds in response to warming, and probably also to the expanded availability of ornamental plantings and hummingbird feeders. Now let's look at these hummingbirds from the standpoint of their evolutionary relationships. We've sequenced DNA from these museum specimens so that we can tell what the branching pattern is of the evolutionary lineages that go back perhaps 20 or 30 million years. And what this shows us is that the high altitude distribution has evolved multiple times in different hummingbird lineages. Our research here at the Museum of Southwestern Biology has focused on the ways that they are adapted to breathing when oxygen is reduced in density. Here in Albuquerque, we've got 2 hummingbird species that breed, the black-chinned hummingbird and the broad-tailed hummingbird. The black-chinned hummingbird is the hummingbird of the valleys. The broad-tailed hummingbird is restricted to the mountains. As global warming proceeds, we expect the black-chinned hummingbirds to be moving up to higher altitudes, and because they're competitively dominant over the broad-tailed, they could be displacing them. That phenomenon of upslope shifts in distribution is important because as we look from our hummingbirds here in Albuquerque to diverse hummingbirds in Peru, we should expect to see the same things happening. If we go to the Peruvian Andes, they've got 125 species of hummingbirds, and just about all of them have restricted elevational ranges. Over the coming decades with warming, we're expecting that temperatures and vegetation zones should shift upslope by about 300 to maybe 700 meters. We've seen massive changes in hummingbird distributions here in North America over the latter half of the 20th century and the first decade of the 21st century.
Do you have a question for our experts? Please email us your viewer questions and comments to askconnect@newmexicopbs.org. Thank you for watching. Production support provided by the University of New Mexico.